What should we do?
Get out of it for a while. Get into the countryside, rejuvenate.
Rejuvenate? I'm in a park and I'm practically dead. What good's the countryside?
A really interesting film. It's a dark, I would say a dark comedy.
Absolutely.
And he says, flowers are prostitutes for bees.
For me, and we'll get to it, he's the delight of the movie to me.
Yeah,
I just think
he's very funny.
just think he's terrific. Wow, that's a good year.
Yeah, good month.
June was always good for Chuck. Hi,
Is that
welcome
June? You're right, it is. Sorry.
Yeah. Welcome to Britflix. I'm Paul.
I'm Kelly.
And this is $2 Chuck.
Almost forgot.
And we are the Britflix guys, and we come to you every now and again to talk about British film.
Yes. But classic, well, not, there's some, contemporary ones, but mostly the classic ones.
Exactly,
We've been looking at it.
Yeah.
Recently, anyway.
Yeah, because we can't afford the new films.
That's right. We're not even aware of them. We never get out of here.
Today we're going to be talking about the classic 1987 cult film, Withnail and I, which starred Richard E. Grant and Paul McGann. This is a really interesting movie because it really has a huge cult, a British cult following.
And I heard about it for years, and I've never seen it until recently.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't. I've seen things on the internet where this film changed my life, and I watch this at least once a week because I look at it and I go, I don't know if I've ever seen a film that changed my life. I don't know if it's something that really completely changed my life.
Well, I think for you, though, honestly, I think one of those comedies as a kid.
I need something to change. I need
perhaps ordinary people.
But this was a really interesting film. It's a dark, I would say a dark comedy.
Absolutely.
And I remember the beginning of it. I watched it, and it took me a while to get into it, as far as warming up to it. Let's say. And they were in that horrible, horrible apartment, that flat they had.
Yeah.
It was absolutely filthy.
Where's it coming from?
Don't look. I'm dealing with it.
I think we've been in here too long. I feel unusual. I think we should go outside.
It seems surreal how horrible, you're almost thinking that this is a movie that is not real, that they've added things to it, almost like a Terry Gilliam, really bizarro sort of movie, but no, it's all real.
You talk about drinks. I mean, I've worked in Britain, I've lived in Britain, and I've been in the United States, been with world-class drinkers, but this guy drank every time. Both of them did, but him especially, he was drinking constantly. They're constantly drinking through the whole film.
And to give you a little backstory on the film, Withnail and I is director and writer Bruce Robinson's biographical film of his time in the 60s. And he is the character of I, or Marwood, which I guess they say one time in the movie. They say Marwood one time.
Yeah,
but
even the credits, it says I.
says I.
Yeah.
Withnail, with all of his problems, you could tell came from some sort of privilege. He seems like he feels like he's above the fray.
It's ridiculous. I've been to drama school. I'm good looking.
So they meet his uncle. It was his uncle, right?
Uncle Monty.
Yeah. Then that kind of tells you that he does have some money because the guy has a nice house in Chelsea.
Yeah, there's some money somewhere.
Yeah.
So he's Richard Griffiths
plays the guy.
is Uncle Monty.
Uncle Monty. Very, very funny.
He's gay Uncle Monty.
Yes.
And he for me, and we'll get to it, he's the delight of the movie to me.
Yeah,
I just think he's terrific.
Don't you agree?
I love the line when he's in his house and he says, flowers are prostitutes for bees. I don't know why they crack me up.
You have two struggling actors who are alcoholics and will take a drug and smoke marijuana and do whatever to get through the day, and they decide that they need to go to the country to get away from it all.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that's when they go to Uncle Monty and try to get his cottage in the country. And so he gives them the key to the cottage, and now they go off.
They have that crappy old car.
Shitty car.
It doesn't even have a windshield wiper on the driver's side.
The windshield wiper is on the passenger's side, so
the passenger has to guide him when they're in the
drunken passenger. He's drinking while he's telling him.
Constantly drinking. Constantly.
And so the thing they don't realize, they're thinking we're going to the country, but they go to the country. It's inclement weather. It's the real country.
Supposedly the Lake District, right?
Yeah, it's the Lake District, and it's a rundown cottage. You find out Uncle Monty hasn't been there for a couple of years.
It's a horrible place. They have to find wood for the fire because there's no
right.
heat, which is pretty typically British anyway.
Withnail is a habitual liar.
Terrible.
He'll sell his friend down the river, at any moment.
When I warmed up to him in that film is when they go to a phone box, a telephone booth, as we would say, a phone box in Britain, and makes his call to his agent.
Right.
And he talks to his agent, and he gets indignant because the agent wants to, I think, give him some horrible part.
Understudy Constantine. I'm not going to understudy Constantine. Why can't I play the part? This is ridiculous.
Agent ends up hanging up on it, but he was so angry to the agent, and I thought, that's when he got me.
Now, in The Weekend in the Country, Uncle Monty shows up, and Richard Griffiths, who's brilliant in this role, you realize that he has an eye for eye.
Yeah.
An
eye for an eye.
An eye for an eye.
Now, when the uncle comes, they go into town. I can't remember what he sent them off to do.
He realizes
the uncle sends him off
that they've been putting plastic bags around their feet.
Oh, but how dreadful. Do you mean you've been up here in all this beastly mud and umthgar without Wellingtons?
So he gives them money to buy boots.
And instead they go get drunk.
They go get drunk.
And
they
then they
really get pissed.
Then they go to that tea shop.
Yes, they go and do a really proper afternoon tea.
British tea shop.
If you don't leave, we'll call the police.
Balls. We want the finest wines available to humanity. We want them here, and we want them now.
And I thought it was interesting because the eye guy is more of a passive character, but he becomes very aggressive in the tea shop. That was kind of a change.
It was kind of a change of character.
For him.
Yeah, because his character's really. I mean, obviously he's paranoid.
Yeah.
But he's much more the quiet, kind of.
Goes along with the other guy and kind of cleans up his mess or whatever.
Withnail says, I'm there. I'll do it. Yeah.
Except when the gay uncle comes on to him.
It's society's crime, not ours.
I'm not homosexual, Monty.
Yes, you are. Of course you are.
And he kind of finds out that Withnail's kind of told the uncle.
That he was gay. that he was gay. That's right. He did tell him that. Oh my God.
Withnail has sold him down the river all through the movie, and yet he stays friends with him. We leave the country and head back to London. And Withnail has this scheme because they're drinking constantly. So Withnail has a scheme to beat the police on the drunk test.
Yes.
And so he's got this urine
tube
thing that he says
he's behind a curtain.
Yeah, and trying to make the bottle work, and it's just going everywhere. It's just awful. The finish of the movie is the character of I gets a part in a play. I'm assuming.
Yeah. A lead.
Because it wasn't the part I was expecting. It was a lead.
It's a lead.
The thing for me was all of a sudden the jump cut was he's got his hair cut, for the part he's going to play, and doesn't look like the stoner role anymore.
And Withnail insists upon walking him to the train that he has to take. Then does he recite something on the way back? He talks to animals or
Withnail
something. Yeah.
Does. I looked it up. He's doing Hamlet. He's playing the Dane, and that was sort of that was the same thing with the uncle, where he said, "I'll never play the Dane." So Withnail's playing the Dane in front of wolves in the zoo or wherever they are, and realizing he'll never play the Dane either.
Yeah.
Man delights not me. No women neither. No women neither.
But it was interesting about the actor that played Withnail.
Richard E. Grant.
He can't tolerate alcohol.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in real life, he can't. I think he drinks alcohol, and then within 10 minutes, his body does not metabolize alcohol, and he's violently ill. And the director made him drink champagne and vodka so he could get the sensation of what it was like to be drunk. Because he has to be, drunk most of the time in his film, and he was violently ill.
But great performances. Richard E. Grant is brilliant. Paul McGann as I, or Marwood, is terrific, and who famously went on to become the 8th Doctor in the Doctor Who series. He did it in the 90s. absolutely perfect. I think perfect in this role because I think he's got the harder role. To be almost the straight man to Withnail.
Yeah.
Is a very difficult part to play.
And the fact that they sustained those roles over that period of
Throughout,
time,
yeah.
you know, the shooting time is it's
Yeah.
a really tough thing to do.
Yeah.
It's
Ralph
great.
Brown is great as Danny, as the the drug dealer, the all-knowing drug dealer.
As far as recommending it goes, I mean, it's a specialized kind of a film. I mean, some people will like it, some people hate it. I think,
Yeah.
you know, it's. I happen to like it, but there again, it took me a while.
I'd always assumed, well, this is such a British film
Yeah.
that it was just embraced by everybody. But no, it actually is a cult.
Really?
It's a cult following.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's not for everybody. I have friends that said, no, I didn't care for it at all.
I actually would like to see the film again. I'm going to watch it again just to. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I've missed the first time.
And it might be kind of funny, you know, if you tweet about it on our Twitter account. If you go to Twitter, Anglophile TV #Britflix.
Okay.
Kelly will tweet about rewatching this movie.
I will tweet
And give us your thoughts.
I will. You know me. I'm just a mad tweeter.
Or twit, right?
I am. I definitely that.
And you can also find us on Facebook, the Britflix guys.
You had to mention
You'll
it,
find us
right?
all
That I
over.
was a twit.
I
Okay.
apologize. So I think it's only appropriate that the Britflix guys give Withnail and I two chucks up.
2 chucks up, definitely. You know, and maybe some brandy and gin after that.
Oh my God. When he drinks the lighter fluid. We forgot the